everyone, I'm going to go over what I hear from the material. Let's begin. In this episode, we talk to Dr. Vanessa Rodriguez, Assistant Professor at NU and member of the Center for Early Childhood Health and Development with the Department of Population Health and co-author of the book The Teaching Brain. She also helped us understand 5K awarenesses educators can bring into their practice as they think through what is happening in their classroom. Curious to find out how you can tell a fuller story of what happened the last time you talked us to welcome of course of mine. We are trying to think about how we can use the research that goes on, and I think you are probably aware that there's a lot of great research around learning and education that doesn't necessarily make it into the classroom, or that doesn't necessarily get translated into practical use for teaching, and so we were hoping you could help us think through a problem here. And so I know that sound a little bit odd because I think as teacher we are used to practicing a student centered model, and what I'm basically arguing both of my research and my work with universities and school and teacher is that the one that more aware you are of yourself as a teacher, the better you can actually set up a support system for the children in your classroom. When you say aware of yourself, do you mean in kind of aware when you are hungry, aware of you had a bad day or there's a spot on your thigh, or what kind of awarenesses are you are talking about? When we think of self as a teacher, and so this is specific to you being a teacher, right? There are actually the calls that we have recognized in our data that have emerged over that year, and that a teacher has a private self, and that is what is just private to you. Maybe no one other than you know that will include your own needs, that can be income needs, emotional needs, physical needs. It will include your identity, that could be your race, ethnicity, culture, or gender. And it also includes your values and your experience, which might be why you got into teaching, what brought you there, what do you think the purpose of the role is. Then there's the public self, and that's the recognition that you are on display as a teacher, and that you can both be authentic but have a different self that's on display. Then where you are privately, and then really specific to teaching, and kind of unique about teaching is the private self, and that makes a lot of sense because the teacher is only a teacher because they have studied, right? So the private self is that awarenesses that you are perceived by your student, by their families, by your colleagues, your director, and so on. and having an awareness that those struggles are always a part of you and that while actually interacting with the student is what I mean by having a sense of soul. It is to sound like there's a little bit of a carry over or connection with kind of young understanding of identity is the completely foreign or silly way to think about things. The distinction here is that a teacher is not taught how to see themselves that way. A teacher is taught typical kind of a child of being selfless and putting the student at the center. So if you put student on the center, the struggle with that is the that in that it then asks the question of well then where are you, and the reality is that you are never actually fully aware of who that student is. You only know what you believe that student to be, and that's about who you are. So if you are, so we are never teaching who the student is. We are always teaching who believe the student in that's based on who we are. Yeah, and so if we don't know who we are and we are not being taught to explore in that way, and that's actually a very difficult obstacle. That literally is just blow my mind. I think of blue draws mine as well, and I guess I want to probe a little bit more cause your side the process is I'm not necessarily comfortable, and I guess for me I'm curious what the overlap between those the different selves. How hard is that exploration process for people in just your research? And I know you work with teacher. We have a ton of research around teacher behavior, right? Otherwise known as teacher practice or teacher best practices. But that's one very small piece of who a person is or behavior is or not really who we are, and all of this work around learning and the brain and the mind. We know our behavior are very small files in her. What's happening in your mind is really what's driving that. So I will not say it's unfailably difficult, but it does take a shift and how we approach teacher. I think about this is a kind of Platonic allegory of the kind of way that I will imagine that awareness then led we to step out of the cave and be blind for a little while. Is there as disorienting pieces that teacher who are thinking through this process so probably expect. So I'm trying to grasp on to your against. They are missing what their students truly are by understanding their side of themselves, private, public, and private. Teacher can build a relationship that helps students thrive. Vanessa reminds is used that teachers are learners too, and conscious that the education community's focus on student centered learning ignores crucial component of the learning process, that learning is an interaction. And the last, I want thank you so much for listening and see you. Bye bye.